Hey, and welcome to this new tutorial of learning JavaScript. So in this tutorial we will be talking just about variable. So in this previous video you might see me like create some variable, but in this video it is like specially just for the variable. So we said to create a variable we put the name var, after that the name of our variable, for example a equal to, and we give it whatever we want, for example number, string, variable can be number, string, array, object. So let's give it 5, and if we type var but with capital A equal, for example to 10, those two variables are not the same because this is like in capital and this is in lowercase. So just like don't forget that. So here to type, for example let's name it name equal, and to type a string we put it between those two codes. So let's type for example a string. Variable can be also boolean, so let's create one, for example test equal true. Var, for example r can be an array. Here for example let's type an array of numbers, and it can be also an object, so equal, and here let's do for example name so let's leave it just this, and to type a variable we call it by its name. For example, to call this yes web variable we call it by name. So if we type here name and after that we run, we will see this this variable. And if you still remember, it is type of to show like the data type of this variable if we don't know it. So run, and it will give me here string. Same thing I mean for test. For example here if I type test, so test, run, and it's a boolean. Let's try also with the array and the object. Here it's an object, and for here he will tell me also it's an object, because like array it's like a special object if you want to like to put it in this way. Also here for example if I type a equal to 10 for example, and now if I try to type this a, we will see this 10 or the 5. So let's see what we will have. Run, and we will have the 10. Why? Because like this new variable it delete the old one. Now if I run again we will see just 5. And here for example if I type another variable, then so var for example b equal a, so that means here b will also be equal to 5. So run also to 5. Another thing that you need to keep in mind, for example my variable name can start with number. So for example 1 2 3, I want it to be equal to 1 2 3, and here we say that it's not possible. So I cannot start the name of my variable with a number, so let's start it with the letter. So for example n, and now it become like possible and we can use it. So just keep that in mind. And also we can for example here start with our variable with an underscore or a dollar, for example. It's totally okay. So now this is like one way to declare a variable. We still have like two other way to declare a variable. It's const and let. So let's figure them out. So we still have let and const. So let's start with let, but first we will delete this and let's create a function. So don't worry, we will have a special video just for function, but just let's create one in here. So function, after that we type the name of the function. For example, let's just name it say hi, and after that here the body of the function. For example, here I will create a new variable, so with the name var. So var, for example, name equal for example yes web, and also for example create another var test equal true, and here if test equal true. Don't worry, again we will also have like a special video just for the if statement. So here for example console.log name, and now let's call this function by calling this it name. So run, and we see that even if we create this variable outside function, it's still we still can call it. So for example, let's give this name another thing, for example OS6. So now let's run this and it's ES6, but as you see in the previous like example, even if we declare this variable outside function, we still can access to it like inside function. That's what we call a global variable. But now let's create another one with let. So let, and after that the name of the variable. So let name equal, for example, to ES6. And before like testing it, I want just to show you. So here I can get access to this one, to this variable. So run. For the moment I will make this as comment, run this, and I still call it. But now let's try, or let's see if I can call, for example, if I can call this name in here. Now I change it, so this with s, but this one with let is not available for. So now let's run JSBin output. Don't know what, so I will add library. I will add the bubble. So I will see if it exists in here, or I will show you the test just like in my code editor. Where is ECMAScript? I don't know what, maybe I'm running like an old version of this of this JSBin, that's why they don't have like an updated ECMAScript. And even in here in those library I can't see like so I can't see the bubble. So no problem, I will open it in my code editor. So I will just open the code editor, copy and paste that, and I will back to you. So here now I open my code editor, and for me it's Visual Code. So here I just copy like the one that the same code for JSBin. So we have here this variable equal name, and here we have also this. So let's add here an s as we did in the example. So here outside function we have this variable. or this variable name with s, and here we call the variable or this variable. So as you can see, for example, let's start with this. So let's call this function or this variable that we create with var. To execute this node, and after that the name of our JavaScript code. And let's see here, and it say yes web, that means this one. So now let's see if we can call this name ES6. So save, go back and execute same thing, and see here it said an error, name is not defined. But let's see if we can here, let's call it inside this the function. So I will make this as command and call the function, and inside this function we have a console.log that call this let. So here let's execute same thing again. No, not in here, what I did. Save, go back to your terminal, execute the same thing again, run, and see ES6, that means this let. So basically what this let is, so this let or the life cycle of this name is just in this block. And what is block? It just the opening and the ending or the closing of the bracket. So this if or this function, it's a block. This if also, it's a block. So here we call this name or this variable name with the let. So that means this name, it will be alive just inside this block, but outside it the JavaScript or our program will not know it anymore. And it's the opposite for var. So var basically it's for old program, but let is just in here, just inside those blocks, and it's the one that we use like regularly, because for example here I may name it let with the same name. So inside another function I can use the same name without any problem, but if I use var, the new name will like delete the old name, and this can cause us some problem. So just like to I don't know, but to be like more organized, just try to use let even more. Try to use it inside the block, inside, I don't know, function or switch condition. We will see that like in the previous video. So now after we said now var and let, we will see another type how to declare a variable. It's const. Before like going to const, I will just show you here, for example, else. So let's type an else, and let's say console.log, also the same name, but like before that we will also create here let name equal to, for example, GS6, just an example. So we say now that this is true, so let's make it false to execute the else. So here, and it's GS6. We can also do something like this. So come here, I will copy that, come here and paste it, but here let name, just create the variable without like sign it with anything. So this way, and it's also working, it will work fine. So let's test it, and we will have the same output as before. So now let's move to const, and what const is, as this its same or its name says, it's a constant. That means we cannot change it. For example here, const name, and I need to give it a variable, or I need to give it something, for example. So name ESWeb, for example, and here I can't, so it will let that as it was before with let, and let's use the const in here. So const, for example, const name is ESWeb. If I try, for example, to give this name another thing or another variable, for example just yes, and here if I will try to execute it or to see what's in it, so with s, if we will show, or we will have an error. Why? Because it's a constant and we cannot, and see here, assign to constant variable. That means we cannot reassign a const variable, but that for like normal data as string number, but we can, I would say, change it or change the form if they were like an array or an object. For example, let's type this as an array, just array of numbers. So here we have three numbers, so an array of three numbers, 1, 2 and 3. So if we go and type it, we will see just the array 1, 2 and 3. So now we said that we can't edit like the form or reassign a new variable to a form, but let's like add something new to this form. So name, and if you still remember, to add something to an array we use push. So push, and here let's add 4, for example. So save, let's go again and run this, and we will see that the 4 is add normally. And same thing for the object also, we can like add something to an object or even edit something in an object. So here let me just see if I can like change it. So here we have index 0, 1, so for example 1 equal to 5, and let's again go and execute it, and see here we can change also if it was like a complex data type, and what the complex data type, it's an array or an object. And also it's the same as let, it's we can declare it, for example in here, this use it as const, and like life cycle is just between, or it starts and end with choose bracket. So here if it was like const name, so let's create for example another one. So const, for example v equal to 1, and here let's use another const v, or let's name it also v equal to 2, and here let's create also another const, also v equal to 3, for example, and here let's here for example console.log, and let's see this v. So here again I will make this a comment, and here, so, but before like I run this, guess what it will be happen in the output. So we have a const in here v equal 3, also a const here v equal 1, and a const here v equal 2. So this v will have 1, 2 or 3. So think again, and remember that consts are let. So their life, it begin and it ends with the bracket. So let me know your answer below in comment. So now after typing your answer, I will execute and you will see what we will have as an output. We have tree. Why is that? Because we said const and let, they are like we can say they are similar in this way. Their life it end with the beginning of the accolade and it end with the end of the accolade. So here we have const equal tree, so that's mean v equal tree. Here inside this block we have another const v equal 1, but this v we state like const and let they start in this accolade and they end in this accolade. So this v it born and it die inside those accolades. Also for this v that equal to, also it's born and it die in here. So when we are like in here, he have just one v, that the one that is still alive. That's mean the one that is inside this that block. That mean this v. That's why he gave us here as an output tree. So just keep in mind that our const and let are the same thing, or they have like same, you could say like the same purpose. So they both have a life cycle that starts and end in the block. Const we can change it for the number or for the string also, but we can change it if you see, and we just did it with array, and same thing also goes for object too. So now we have tree, or we know three way how we can create our variable with var, with let, and with const also. So I think this is all for this video, and see you next.